All right, so we're gonna fix two things here. First of all, we're gonna make sure that we're always starting out with the 3 hearts, because remember, as we get our lives reduced, we're gonna show less and less hearts. So we need to make sure every time we start the program, so every time the flag is clicked, we not only show these hearts, but we also make sure that we're showing the first set that has all 3 of them. So we go over here. We show, and then we make sure that we switch the costume to 3 hearts to start with. All right, so that's what we start with. And later on, we're going to put in another function that reduces the lives as we lose lives. But we're not going to worry about that for now. Now let's go over to the spaceship, where we're going to make sure we have this direction working the way we want it. So what we want to do is we want to be able to control the direction of the spaceship with our arrow keys on our keyboard. And we've already done similar things with the race car and stuff like that. So again, it's very simple. The one thing that we need to first include here to make sure this works is we want to make sure that we are pointing this in the direction of the spaceship. So there is a block here called point in direction. That's exactly what it does, right? So it basically points this costume in the direction that we say, and we're going to use our variable. We're going to say pointed in the ship direction, right? And we're going to do this once in the beginning when we set the ship direction to 90, and we're going to do it once after we receive anything from our keyboard. So we're going to have a forever function, forever checking our keyboard keys. And what we're going to say is that we're going to say, hey, if one of these keys get pressed, then act accordingly, right? So we're going to start with if the right key is pressed, the right arrow key is pressed. In that case, we need to make sure that ship changes direction by a positive number, right? Because remember, it's moving this way. It's moving clockwise. So it's going to be a positive number that we're adding to the ship direction. So we're going to say change ship direction by, let's say, +5. All right. And now we're going to have another one checking for the left arrow key. All right. So if the left arrow key is pressed, then we're going to change the direction by a negative number, because remember, now we're going in a counterclockwise motion. So we're going to say change ship direction by -5. And then we're going to make sure that we again point in the direction of the ship direction, because remember, we need to have this happening inside this loop as well, to make sure that every time one of these events happen, we're not just changing the variable, but we're also reflecting that onto our actual costume. So we go over here and we say point in the ship direction. All right, so just like that. Now let's go ahead and try it out and make sure that this is working properly. So what we should see right now is we should see, there we go. So I'm able to control the direction of the spaceship with my arrow keys. If I go to the right arrow key, it changes clockwise, as you can see. If I press my left arrow key, it changes counterclockwise, and I can just go back and forth. All right, so that's exactly what I want to see. And we also want to make sure that this goes back to the original way of being set up when I run it again. So we're going to stop and we're going to run it again. There we go. It goes back to the original way where it's looking towards the right of the screen. Perfect. So just make sure that you have that set up. Just try it out yourself. Make sure the ship is working properly, and make sure that you have this command over here on the hearts as well. So have those set up, and in the next video, we're going to start working on our laser.